Good morning, Molly. Molly's being smart, staying in the shade. It's already hot this morning. I think we're at 9 o'clock this morning. It's already pretty hot. You know, I thought this month for July 2019, I would do 2 tours of the back um, gardens because things change quite a lot in July. So I thought, well, why don't we do twice? Because even though I'm not doing a whole lot of extra projects, it's amazing how much stuff grows in this time period. So let's just do a quick span of everything and then we'll go through step by step some of the changes that I've made here. I'm getting ready to put in, I hope, in the next month or two to be able to purchase a rain barrel for there, and then one on the other side where the other downspout is. But we'll see. Let's hope. See, back here I got in the rest of the sod around those edges, and as you can see, it's still struggling a little bit, but we're coming along. I really haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it is the problem. I've got to put more seed in there. Molly thought she caught a lizard back there. And there she goes to another shady spot. Molly does not stay out here unless I'm out here, so I try not to be out here too long for her because it does get too hot for her. So let's see, our plantain, huge seeding again, so I need to trim those seed pods back again, which, you know, it's not a bad problem having a bunch of this stuff. Our roses are doing pretty well. We're about to rebloom again. I'm pretty happy with them because they really didn't look good earlier this year, but they're doing pretty well. And Molly's shoes still here. The sunflowers are starting to get taller. And I have started the project of getting the pergola again. I've got one post in, so it's starting. I'm going to be running boards across those pickets so that they can stay nice and straight for many years, and also grow the grapevines up there if they want to grow there. And I've got this pot upside down because it was not draining and it was holding water, so I've got to drill some holes through the bottom there. And the sunflowers here are getting real big, and the corn's starting to get tall. And these aspen trees are doing really well. They are so happy this year. I really think having the other tree in there helps them, and also all the sunflowers have helped them a lot. And their trunks are starting to widen, so I'm real happy because they're not getting much taller, but their trunks are starting to thicken, so that's really what we want. And the raspberry bush has got some growth on it, but I really think they're, you know, runners, suckers. So I'm going to leave it alone for a little bit, and then we'll trim it back this year. All the lavender is doing quite well. And look at the tomatoes. They're getting huge. So I've learned something about doing the tomatoes back here. It's hard to get to. I don't like how they're laid out, but you know, they're growing really well, so I'm real happy with them. But I'm going to next year, after I did all this work, next year I'm going to be moving the corn to here, and then I'm going to move the tomatoes into a raised bed back there. Molly still won't be able to get to them if they're in a raised bed. So, and the corn did really beautifully over here last year, so I'll be doing that again. And our lemon balm, bee balm, I cut the bee balm back a lot because it's gotten so big, and look, it's nice and full again so fast. It's amazing. And our Leland tree looking good. Now up over here, I'm so excited to show you my hollyhock. So for a little bit I thought it had fooled me, as I was like, I'm sure it's a hollyhock, but it didn't ever do anything, and everybody else's hollyhocks were blooming. So I was like, well, maybe it's tricked me, maybe it's not a real hollyhock. But then look at that, it started to bloom. So these are just the beginning blooms. It's one of the reasons I'll come back and do another tour, because it's a double hollyhock. blooms even more, I will come back. And it's growing. So we've got big pods right here. Right there, there's a big pod. And down here you can see the pods starting to open. This one's already open down here. Anyway, I just love hollyhocks. I think they're so beautiful. And they're tough. They don't need much water. Over here, look, our pathway has gotten a little bit snake dangerous. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I might take this one out and leave these here because this one's awful big and it's closing in our walkway. The tomatoes, look how tall they are. They're doing really well. I do have them pruned down at the bottom, but the leaves, I've got to tie that one up. I've got a bunch of little blooms. Oops, sorry. And I have a few tomatoes on there. So I'm real pleased with that. The basil has gone to seed, but I don't really care. I want it to grow there again. And it also helps protect those tomatoes from bugs. And guess what? My little fountain pump that I had over here does not work. So I got to pull it back out and take it back, get a different one. It's always something. Look how huge this peach tree has become. It's massive. We will definitely have to do some pruning of that this spring. But for now, we'll just let it grow. It's done producing peaches, so it won't bend any of those branches down. The zinnias got big. The grass over here is looking good. And the latest thing I've done is add some more shade, which, as you can see, there's a big hole right in the middle. So I've got to get one more of these sailcloth. But oh my goodness, that makes a huge difference already. These flowers were dying and now they're coming back because they get a little shade. You know, it's amazing, these plants that are supposed to be out in full sun just don't make it here in New Mexico. They've got to have some shade. So I'm real happy with that. The hummingbirds are so happy with the little hummingbird feeder. And I'd like to show you from this angle all the shade that's going on in that back corner. I'm so pleased with that. It's cooled off the backyard quite a bit. Molly's hanging out over there, back there in some sand. And she's hot. She's like, okay, Mom, hurry up. We got to get going. And then these trees over here, I still haven't got to tying that one tree back, but it is straightening up already on its own, so I may not need to tie that one back. They're not doing quite as well as that group over there, but they have less green around them over here. So I believe once I get this section worked on, which I won't do until when it starts to cool off, but I've already started to kind of lay it out, and I'm going to have to start raking the gravel about. Our strawberry bed, oh, I have to tell you, they look really good, don't they? They're real happy. The problem is I have a mouse problem. The mice are coming and eating whatever strawberries are on the on the plants. So, and I think that they are living underneath this shed. So I'm going to have to, I don't want to poison them. That would be bad for the ecosystem. And if Molly gets a hold of a poisoned mouse, that would be bad. So I think I'm going to have to put in some traps back here. And I plan on over here planting along the base mint. And I know mint goes crazy, but I need something that the mice hate. And I'm told mint is one of the things they hate. So I'm going to be putting mint all the way around the base. And then I'll put grass here for a walkway with the stones on top. And then on that trellis, I'd like to put a rose. And then, I don't know, in the pot, probably more, maybe a rosemary, something that, you know, mice hate. And then that's where, this is where one of the raised beds is going to go in the U shape. So that's pretty much what's going on back here. Oh, I've got a mess over here I thought I'd share. I like to share the messes too. So this is really probably the best location for the grill because it has some cover, but and it's easy to work with right here, but I hate the look of the back of a grill. I think it's just ugly. And then I had the palm tree there, but it got too hot. You can't do that to the palm tree. And then look at my hose mess. Ugh. I think when you start gardening, the biggest cost and the most difficult thing is hose issues, watering issues. So, one of the things, hey, Miss Molly, there's a Molly, and I also have a mess over here. I'm getting ready to put that screen door up because that's a double door. But one of my suggestions when you start gardening is to put your first plot of what you're going to do close to your water source, because hoses add up in price, and I have found that it's difficult to maintain all of that. So that, like this house had a really great sprinkler system installed, but before, I don't know when, sometime before we bought it, somebody went through and cut all the lines. So they all would have had to be replaced, and that is not in our budget. So hoses are what I work with right now. I eventually will be putting in a drip system, but I wouldn't have gotten all this done if I had invested in the drip system first. So I've decided I wanted to do the stuff first so that I could feel motivated and get some results first. So over here, I have a big mess. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some kind of a bench or table that goes up behind the grill and put pots on that table to roll the hoses in each pot so we don't have that huge spaghetti mess and gonna trip over it, get killed. Anyway, so this will be the first tour of July 2019. We'll do 2 this year because I'm hoping that by the end of the month we'll be seeing tomatoes on the plants and we'll be seeing flowers on the sunflowers. And I hope I can solve my little fountain issue. And I'm thinking that the grass will come back. So I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with how it's looking. And also I need one more shade cloth for up there. But oh my goodness, that was a good idea. Because right there, I was thinking about doing a pergola, but we have all that cement, so it makes it really hard for me to get that done personally. So my goal with everything is to reduce cost, raise comfort level in the simplest, most inexpensive, and best looking way possible. And I like these sailcloths. They're pretty nice. And they're inexpensive. It took some creative planning to get them hooked into places because they don't quite fit my area, so I kind of had to wrap it around the top up here, but it works, and it really helps a lot. So anyway, I hope you're all having a great day out there. I'll talk to you soon.